Good morning again, and welcome back to the day 2 of Dhaka Media Summit 2022. At this part of the day, we have a roundtable discussion on citizens of today and tomorrow, digital literacy and digital etiquette in secondary curriculum. In this session, we have as session moderator, Aminul from University of Liberal Arts, Bangladesh. The discussions are joining from 3 different countries. Alexandre Voci is joining from Brazil. Joining us from the Philippines, Dr. Joy Alagaran from Bangladesh. We have 2 discussants, Professor Moshiuzzaman, member National Curriculum and Textbook Board, and Professor Tariq Ahsan from University of Dhaka. Our session moderator, Aminul is currently a lecturer at the Department of Media Studies and Journalism, University of Liberal Arts, Bangladesh. He is also the coordinator of Axis MIL, an outreach program of the Media Studies and Journalism Department to promote media and information literacy in Bangladesh. Prior to joining academia, he was a professional journalist and worked for the English dailies, the Daily Star, Dhaka Tribune, and Daily Sun. He received a master's degree in mass communication and journalism from the University of Rajshahi. He also received a postgraduate diploma in journalism and new media from the Asian College of Journalism, Chennai, India. I'd like to request the session moderator, Aminul, to take over from here and start the session by introducing the panel. Mr. Aminul.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Parva. So very good morning. Good morning from Bangladesh for the participants from around the world. So I welcome you all to the roundtable on citizens of today and tomorrow, digital literacy and digital etiquette in the secondary curriculum. So this event is arranged by the Axis MIL, Media Information Literacy. It's an outreach program. So it's an outreach program at the Department of Media Studies and Journalism at the University of Liberal Arts. So the Axis MIL mainly works for promoting media and information literacy. Media literacy, information literacy, social media literacy.
Mr. Aminul, can you please check your audio? Because I think your mic doesn't get any audio. Can you please check? We're not getting any audio from you.
Is it clear? Can you hear?
Yeah, now you are audible. Now you are audible.
So it was technical. So I at the very
so I think you can start the introduction again.
Okay.
Yeah.
So thank you, Dr. Baba. I welcome you all to the roundtable on citizens of today and tomorrow.
Mr. Aminul, I think we lost your audio again. Mr. Aminul. Dear audience, we are extremely sorry. I think Mr. Aminul is having some issues with his device. So please allow us a minute to check it on.
It's clear?
Now it's on. Now it's on.
So the XMI had some certain goals to access, and in line with the goals, it was for promoting media literacy, information literacy, and social media literacy, news literacy, internet literacy, digital literacy, fact checking, and the verification. So at the XXMIL, we have a group of volunteers who conduct training and workshops, both online and offline, on various issues related to the media and information literacy, digital citizenship, fake news, misinformation, disinformation, and so on. So today we have panelists from different parts of the world with diverse background and expertise and experiences. Now, it's my responsibility to introduce you, the panelists of the roundtable. First, I would like to introduce Professor Moshiuzzaman. Professor Moshiuzzaman is the member of the National Curriculum and Textbook Bangladesh, NCTB. He joined the NCTB in 2015. And Professor Moshiuzzaman has started his career in 1993 as a lecturer in Bangla language and literature. Before joining the NCTB, he served as a classroom teacher in different government colleges and at graduate and postgraduate levels. He received his bachelor degree in Bangla from the University of Chittagong in 1985 and postgraduate degree from the same university in 1986. Our next panelist is Dr. Joey Ruben Q. Alagaran. He is from Philippines. Dr. Alagaran is the regional representative for Asia Pacific of the International Alliance in Media Education of the UNESCO, which is called UNESCO MIL Alliance. He is the founder president of the Philippines Association of Media and Information Literacy, PAMIL. He's the former staff director for policy and communication research, Philippine Information Agency. He's also a former executive director for Center for Strategic Research at Miriam College in Philippines. And then we have another panelist. He's from Brazil. His name is Alexandre Voci Sayed, if I pronounce properly. And Alexandre Voci Sayed is a journalist, educator. He's the director of GAPMIL. He's an international co-chairman of UNESCO's International Alliance in Media Education. He's the columnist for several newspapers in Brazil and other Latin American countries. He's authored several books, including Media Age, Communication Reinvented at School. He's also the presenter of the program, if I pronounce properly, Ida de Media on Central Futura of this channel Media Mundo on YouTube. He's a member of the advisory board of the Educa Media program. He is a member of the scientific board of the academic journal Comunicar, University of Huelva, Spain. He is also a researcher in artificial intelligence and ethics at PUC-SP. Finally, we have got Professor Dr. Mohammad Tariq Ahsan. Professor Ahsan has been working at the Institute of Education and Research of the University of Dhaka since 2001. He did his PhD in 2015 from Monash University, Australia, on teachers' preparation for inclusive education. He has vast experiences in the areas of adolescent skills for the 21st century, equity and inclusion, and education in emergency. He is the Secretary General of the Asian Center for Inclusive Education and the founding editor of Asian Journal of Inclusive Education. So without any delay, let me explain the background of the event today. Bangladesh is a country of relatively young people, where almost half of the populations are aged below 25 years. So in the past decade, Bangladesh has experienced a dramatic rise in the number of mobile phone and internet penetration. According to BTRC, the government body for looking after the telecommunication issues, as of December 2021, the total number of mobile phone subscribers was 181.02 million. The total number of internet subscribers in the country was 23.82 million. So more than 95% of total households in the country have on mobile phones. So the omnipresence of new information communication technologies has allowed the human being to be intellectually more vibrant and mobile than ever. The technologies have brought some opportunities as well as some threats. In a dynamic, diverse, hyper-connected, complex, digitally mediated world, the young generation must have the skill set that would allow them to navigate both the digital and the real world. But young people are more often blamed for losing their way. However, instead of blaming the young generation, we need to create such enabling environment that they can become the good digital citizens, having ability to use digital technologies in appropriate and responsible ways. So today, we'd like to address some burning questions about media and information literacy, digital literacy, and the issues related to these things. So we'd like to actually deal with some of the burning questions, as I mentioned earlier. Actually, what exactly the media and information literacy is? What is the digital literacy and digital etiquette? Why media literacy and digital literacy is important today? What is the status of media and literacy and digital literacy in the national curriculum, especially in Bangladesh? So why the issues of media and information literacy should be incorporated in the national curriculum? So what are the challenges of incorporating the MIL issues in the curriculum, and how the challenges can be overcome, and how Bangladesh can benefit from the experiences from the Philippines and the Brazil? So at first, I'd like to request Professor Moshiuzzaman. As I said earlier, he's the member of the NCTB. The NCTB is a government body of Bangladesh. It mainly looks after curriculum issues related to curriculum. So, Professor Moshiuzzaman, as you are dealing with the issues, I'd like to share your experiences and the activities. What are the current status of the MIL in the textbook of the country? What are the things you are doing, and the existing and future policies of the government of Bangladesh to promote media information literacy, digital literacy in the country, and overall your experiences and the challenge you are facing? I'd like Professor Moshiuzzaman. Sir, unmute yourself. Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Aminul, and a very good morning to everybody. First of all, I have to go to the existing curriculum status in Bangladesh. You know, we have developed our existing curriculum in 2012, and in that curriculum we have firstly introduced the ICT as a subject for grade 6 to 12 for all the students of Bangladesh. In that curriculum, we have focused on the use of ICT. In fact, we are not properly aware about the media impact in that time. The social media was not that prominent at that time, was not so popular and so greatly used in our country. So we basically focused to educate our students to use the ICT, and that was our goal, and we have that in our curriculum and in our textbooks. But as the days overcomes, the media, digital media became a prominent factor in our society. And from 2018, we have started to revise our existing curriculum. and it is the work is going on, and from last February, from the last month, we have started piloting of the new curriculum in some secondary schools in grade 6. And in this new curriculum, we have conceptualized the existing subject ICT as a digital literacy, digital technology. In fact, we named the subject as digital technology. We are not now focusing only in the capacity to use the ICT, but we are focusing also to use the digital media and social medias, etc., safely, responsibly, etc. In this fourth industrial revolutions time, the peoples are hugely connected with the internet, with the digital devices, and it is the whole hub of information is open to everybody by digital medias. So people have the access to information, and it is a huge opportunity. It is at the same time it has a huge risk also. So we want to educate our students so that they use the ICT, they use the informations getting from the digital information, digital and internet, through internet, how they can ensure the authenticity of these informations, how they can use it in a responsible way, and how they can use it for the benefit of the society and everybody. So the responsible use of information and searching for the authenticity of the information is a very important thing nowadays, because a lot of fake informations are going on through digital media, and in many time it is creating instability, chaos in the society also. So we focused on this area so that our students are capable to identify the authenticity and of the information and use it in a responsible way, with responsibility, that it doesn't create any chaos in the society, it doesn't make any losses of lives or have bad impact on the society or hurt somebody. So it is a big challenge for us. At the same time, we want our students to learn to critical to promote their critical thinkings and use their critical thinkings in digital literacy and media informations, so that they can critically analyze these informations and critically think that how he can use it in a for the virtues, for the goodness of the society, so that he can learn it. At the same time, so the students should learn to use the information to solve the problems. Students should have the problem solving skills, and so that they can use the information he is getting he or she is getting from the digital media, he can use it for the to solve his problems also. So these are the areas basically we are hugely focusing, and the most important thing is as the information hub of the total world is absolutely open for all, and there is lot of fake news, lot of fake informations, lot of misinformations are available in the media, and it is very important for the citizens to judge whether it is right or not, whether it is having a bad impact on the society. And you know, the power of digital media is so high that it can even change the total political scenario of a country. Even it could be a cause to change the government also. So it is very important, and at the same time we have seen in our country also that a riot, religious riot happened in some areas of Bangladesh in the last few years ago over the misinformation from the social media. So we want to educate our students so that they do not take in information without judging, without the ensuring the authenticity of the information. And we want to teach them. We want them to learn how how he can be authenticity could be judged. So these are the new curriculum is thinking, and we have already in piloting in grade 6, and we are from 1 month experience, we are very happy that its impact is very good, and the students are getting very interested in this new curriculum. And at the same time, the challenges as you said, the most important challenge is to the access of devices, access of internet connections to all the students. And the second one is to educate the teachers, to the training of the teachers who will be basically teach the students, make the student, facilitate the students to learn this media literacy, digital technology, information technology, etc. So these are big challenges. We are fighting with this for the last few years. We are trying to educate our teachers, and hopefully we are very much enthusiastic whether it is working, and we are very hopeful that we will be able to overcome these challenges in the next few years. And our teachers are now much more capable than they were in a few years back. And access to internet, access to devices are also now is much more easier A huge task is going on basically from the government side, as the government's election mandate is that to create transform Bangladesh as a digital Bangladesh. So the huge task is going on. All the schools and are going to be connected with broadband connections. Maximum schools are getting ICT lab, and devices are also going to be available there. Internet connection is going to be available there. So we are very much ambitious, and we are very much hopeful that we will be able to implement the new curriculum, and our students will be digital citizens of the world. We are focusing not the national citizens, a patriotic citizen, but a global citizen also. So a global digital citizens will be able to develop through our new curriculum, and this is all about for this time, and thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Moshiuzzaman. It was really nice to listen from you and about the existing situations, as well as the future, the path or the directions of the of educating our future generations. So now it's my responsibility to request to Professor Tariq Ahsan, as a curriculum expert. You have been working in the field and as well as working with the NCTV, so far as know. I'd like to request you to share about your actually works currently. What are the works you're doing on MIL issues? So why exactly, as an expert and of this topic, so why MIL or digital citizenship or digital literacy issues is important, and what are the practical and pedagogical and policy challenges? Please do share about with us.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, everyone. I'd like to welcome everyone in this session. And thanks to the organizers for inviting me to say some words on this issue. As you said that I'm currently involved in the curriculum development process, as Professor Moshiuzzaman has said, and it is a big reform in the context of Bangladesh, because we are going through a transformation of the concept of pedagogy, of assessment, and overall system of our country. So this is a historic moment for Bangladesh in this educational reform context. And why we are doing this is that you all know that we are currently going through global reform based on fourth industrial revolution, and things are getting changed. Our job markets are changing. We all know that 60% of our current jobs will be gone within few years, and new jobs will be created, and machine will take over many mechanical jobs of human beings. So adapting with this situation is very important. At the same time, currently Bangladesh is having the benefits of demographic dividend of our population. So considering that this is very important for Bangladesh to decide and change the existing education system to respond to the future. At the same time, we all are going through the COVID-19 situation, and this pandemic has many negative sides, and also we have many things to learn from the pandemic. And we all know that now we are solving problems digitally and from remote locations as well. So all these learnings are helping us to cope with the new situation and for the future. And in this situation, Bangladesh has many challenges. We are developing country. We have resource constraint. We have large population size. So all those are taken consideration when we are facing those challenges and planning for minimizing those challenges. Especially if I provide you example from the curriculum context. I can mention that the concept of digital literacy has been has been updated based on the current world context. Like it is not only creating users of different digital gadgets, but it will more focused on creating innovators, entrepreneurs for the future, and who can have digital literacy as well as media literacy, and can bring creative digital solutions which will be ethically correct and will create responsible behaviors to the citizens. So these are some goals that we have articulated in our curriculum and our materials, our textbooks. And also from the pedagogical point of view, things are no more just memorizing. We have set experiential learning pedagogy in our new curriculum framework, so that learners can plan, they can practice system thinking, design thinking, and computational thinking, as well as they can apply those in the context of Bangladesh and also globe. And from Bangladesh context, as we know that we have resource constraint, we have considered high-tech, low-tech, and no-tech pedagogical approaches so that every learner can get benefit from their context and have the competencies without even having any gadget or internet facilities. And you all know that gadgets are changing. So these are not the way of or catalyst for learning. Rather, if we can provide them the soft skills and hard skills that will be adaptive to any situation, that is more important to cope with the future world. So so we have designed curriculum in that way, so that learners in remote locations in Bangladesh can also have digital competencies. And also from the assessment point of view, we have a big reform. We are now introducing our formative assessments procedures, especially for the digital technology subject. We have 100% formative assessment, and it is very important for tracking students' everyday progress. So it will help learners to be more creative, more action oriented, and solve problems locally. So this will help teachers as well to be facilitators rather than just deliver information. And in our curriculum framework, we have taken connectivism as one of the important pedagogical approach, so that learners can be connected through digital platforms and get access to different information, and also they can solve those their real life problems through interpreting information, and it can be helpful for the nation as well as for the future generations. So all these things are considered when we design the new curriculum, and as Professor Moshiuzzaman has said that it is now in the piloting phase. We are getting very positive responses from the learners as well as from teachers and parents. So we are hopeful that despite having many challenges, we will have digitally sound citizens very soon when the curriculum is implemented all over the country. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Ahsan. It was really pleasant to know from your lots of information, because lots of things been happening now, and though it's a bit earlier stage, but we all are working for a cause of the nations, for a cause of the future citizens. So thank you. I will come to you again. Before that, I believe that the audience is keenly waiting to listen from our panelist from the Brazil. So I'd like to request Alexandre Voci Sayad. Please share your works and experiences about promoting media information literacy in the context of Brazil and the global, and to share your global experiences. So what exactly you are doing and how Bangladesh can be benefited or can learn. What are the things can learn from your experiences? So please, it's time for you.
Thanks a lot, Mr. Aminul. Here it's 3 o'clock in the morning in Brazil, but I'm very pleased to wake up just to be part of this amazing roundtable. I'm bringing some aspects from Brazil, but also from my view of 2 international organizations that I'm part of. I'm co-chairing the International Alliance for Media and Information Literacy from UNESCO, the UNESCO MU Alliance, and I have here the amazing pleasure, I'm flattered to share the table with my colleague Joy Alagaran, which is the Asian representative, Asian Pacific representative within the Alliance. And also I'm part of the International Council for Media Literacy, which is one of the first organizations based in US that started as the National Telemedia Council when the TV, 1954, can you imagine? In 1954, they started to imagine how TV are impacting children and youth and developing the media literacy skills within, not on a curriculum by that time, but within practices to protect childhood and also the youth. So if you allow me, I will share a couple of slides, but I will not take too much time to explain myself, and then we can open the floor for Q&A. So basically, yes, here I am. Basically, we believe here in Brazil, and I think in UNESCO MU Alliance as well, that media literacy is a right to everyone. It doesn't matter if you're a journalist or not. It's a right for youth and children to develop its skills. Since we are living in a very mediatic world, we have news from all parts, and so we work in media literacy, even in Brazil, as a part of the education, part of the access to a quality education. So I think media literacy is part of this concept of quality basic education within the school, but also in lifelong learning. In as journalists, we have the social responsibility to develop media and information literacy within the platforms, the digital platforms, within the TV, the radio as well. So Zeitgeist is my organization in Brazil, and it's a German word actually that means spirit of the time or contemporaneity. So we do research, project developments, teachers training, and advocacy focus on media literacy. So I believe that Zeitgeist, it's a very contemporary expression to mean what do you need to learn with quality, because information is everywhere. But we need to select it. We need to find quality, and we need to guarantee equal access to everyone, because the access is still unequal around the world to the media. So I would treat MIL as an ethical response for the times we are living in. So if we think education should prepare us for the life, school should prepare students for the life. So it must embed MIL as part of the curriculum, as part of the basic curriculum and the high school curriculum. And that's what we are doing in Brazil, starting doing in Brazil. And that's what we are promoting within the UNESCO MIL Alliance, trying to promote within the governments all around the world. And I think Joey Alagaran will have an amazing experience from Philippines to share after me, that he developed a national institution of media literacy. There is a thing that we don't have in Latin America yet, but we're gonna have it. So, and I'll say a little bit about artificial intelligence and privacy too, because it's connected to the future of media literacy. Okay, we cannot think about media literacy nowadays without thinking about artificial intelligence. We are in an age that artificial intelligence is everywhere, so needs to be part of media literacy too. This is what I'm researching in the Pontifical Catholic University here in Brazil, that you mentioned, PUC, which is the alma mater of Paulo Freire. Probably you all know Paulo Freire, the Brazilian scholar who developed a lot of theories in democracy and education. So the spirit of our time in education is like this castle, this image. This image is not very comfortable to everyone who see it, but because it has the past, it has the castle, the classic culture of the castle, and you have the contemporary culture of the graffiti in it. So schools, they are the castle itself. They're classical. They need to keep the knowledge, bringing knowledge from the past. But how can we deal with media? And media is this graffiti on the wall. The youth is this graffiti on the wall. So we have this image that's not very comfortable to watch it. How can you deal with an organization like a school that it's quite conservative because it conserves knowledge, but needs to deal with the contemporaneity, needs to deal with media? So we need to allow the schools to accept this graffiti in the walls. Of course, this is a metaphor, but we need to encourage the schools to use technology and to develop the media literacy skills within the students, and the role of the government is to propose practices and a curriculum for that methodology, which that's very important. That's what we are doing here in Brazil. So this is all to do with the development of communication. We are all journalists. We know that we are not more in that age of mass media, that we have one TV for the whole audience. But since then, we have some pioneers in media literacy. I like to underline here. So if you want to go deeper, in Janusz Korczak or Celestin Freinet, one is Polish and the second one is French. They start to develop media literacy within the mass media era, with radio, with newspapers, school newspapers, developing network of schools newspapers back to 1930. So since 1930, we have the first experiences in media literacy. But nowadays we live this. So we are living in an era that we have the digital media and also the mass media. I mean, the radio is still alive. FM radio is still alive, but we have the podcasts that the students are doing within their homes, using this mobile only to make a podcast. But FM radio is still alive. I'm a host of a FM radio show. So, and it's very, for example, parts of Brazil, which is a huge country, you may know the size, they don't have access to internet. So FM radio is still alive. So they coexist. Mass media is still alive and kicking, but digital media with artificial intelligence algorithms are working together. How to deal with that? How to read, analyze, and produce media for this ecology of media. This is what all media literacy. So I used to joke that we changed from a Gutenberg era to a Zuckerberg era, because we changed from the era to produce mass messages to a very individual message and social network, basically. So one thing that I want to underline is for the kids and the youth, and I'm researching on that, there is no clear limits between digital and physical world. We need to take care about two things when we think about media literacy. One is to not call digital world as a second-hand reality. Digital world is as real as the physical world. And we think about it, we need to be citizens within the digital world as well, because the metaverse is coming here and it's going to use immersive reality. And we need to be citizens within the metaverse as well. And the metaverse is still existing, like in games, like Fortnite, like for instance, also Minecraft. It's another game that the youth like to play, and it's metaverse already. So I deeply suggest you the book Reality Plus from David J. Chalmers. It's #1 in Amazon right now. And he discussed what's reality nowadays. We need to prepare our students for reality, and reality is both physical and digital. So what's the composition of reality? What is real? I think media literacy, Professor Aminul and the audience, it's like an onion. We need to peel it part from part. And in 10 minutes, I'll just take the first peel. I'll not go to the center because it's such a short time. So I'll take the first peel of this onion. So as you requested, Dr. Aminul, this is the concept of media and information literacy for UNESCO. So we need to be media and information literacy citizens to analyze and use media and information for self-expression, to become independent learners and thinkers, and to participate in the professional governance and democratic process of their societies. This is very important to know. So UNESCO used this acronym MIL, which is Media and Information Literacy, and we call MIL as well. So the ecology of media literacy, underneath this, it's a umbrella concept. And underneath this umbrella concept, you have media education, digital literacy. That's our main topic here. Representation, social representation media, edu-communication, which is a Latin American concept. I will not have time to explain it, but it's a neology that we use here in Latin America. And this all science literacy, as you addressed in the beginning of this speech, internet literacy and a lot of other ones. So it's an umbrella with a lot of concepts underneath, and you need to understand all of them. And digital literacy is one of them. The first, here in Brazil, we have a national minimum curriculum. Okay. There are not all the countries that have a national minimum curriculum. What does it mean? That the whole country must take this national minimum curriculum and adopt in different cities. We have more than 5,000 cities, okay? But they can adapt and put more local realities within the curriculum. What we have done in Brazil, we put media literacy and digital literacy within this national minimum curriculum. So it doesn't matter if you are in a place that don't have internet access. You must develop media literacy within your students using the radio or using the community radio or using the community newspaper. It depends on each reality. But the most important thing to develop media literacy within the schools is the teacher initial training. Teachers, school teachers are not prepared as journalists to deal with communication and information. And how can we go back to the schools, basic education, and teach and develop media literacy? We need to have a very specific training, teacher training in media literacy. So here in Brazil, the initial teachers training is not very good. It's not very connected to reality, as I show in this slide. It's focused on research, but not in practices. It's lecture-based, low use of digital technology, instrumental approach of use of digital technology, no space for innovation. This is the reality of our curriculum. So this is what we need to change within the faculty of pedagogy, with the faculty of education, and introduce a new aspect of media education to prepare teachers to teach students. So what I do in Zeitgeist is that media needs to be understood as language and culture, and not more tool. We need to forget this word tool. It's not a good word to address to media. Media is a language. We produce digital culture. We need to understand media as something that we produce culture. There are no more clear borders between digital and physical lives, as I said before, and digital technology can't be called new anymore. It's not new. The internet started in the beginning of 1990s. It's 30 years now. It's not an adolescent anymore, not a youth. So we need to use digital technology as not something new, but something, I will skip some slides here, but take a look at this. In Latin America, the radio started 100 years ago. And the first paper on artificial intelligence was from 1951. So even the concept of artificial intelligence is not new. The development, it's new. It's being developing right now. But the concept is from Alan Turing. 1951, the first paper that mentioned artificial intelligence. So we use digital technology to put the man on the moon in 1969. We cannot say it's new anymore. So we need to overcome this instrumental aspect of technology. Digital is language and digital is culture. So I will skip some slides here, but I like this view of this Hong Kong philosopher, Yu Hui, that he believes that technology is a regional phenomenon, not a global. So he says techno-diversity. Each place needs to develop its own technology and not deal technology as a global thing. You need to preserve the local aspects of technology. And I like to consider that within the media literacy programs. As soon as the aspect that Pierre Levy brought us is that technology, it's a way of us to think after writing. We think differently after we create the personal computer, because we have the hypertext, the hyperlink, the image, the multimedia, the video. So we started, our brain is changing at the same time as technology is changing. Yeah. So what I want to underline, and it's the very important and very critical part of media literacy or digital literacy or digital education, is the role of artificial intelligence and its ethical impacts. Think that we are being used right now by artificial intelligence within the Zoom link. The Zoom link has an algorithm, artificial intelligence, that it's trying to check if our eyes is looking for which part of the screen, if you are using screen share, and they are using this data, this information, to develop the new product. So AI is everywhere. So as I said, the first papers and practices are back on the 1950s. Yeah. So AI brings us a lot of new dilemmas for media literacy. As TV, radio, newspaper brought a lot of dilemmas, a lot of paradigms, AI brought us a lot that we need to go deeper and think about each one of that. Okay, I will not stop on that. I also recommend The Social Dilemma. It's a film on Netflix that's very important, that is a documentary that discusses the power of of artificial intelligence within social network. Yes. So it raises a lot of aspects that's important to discuss within media literacy, like those ones. This is an artist from Brazil. During the 80s, he created this customs of half TV, half man, trying to bring us the importance of TV in our lifetime. But nowadays, we have the Truman Show, the reality shows that are very important. But nowadays, I like to underline this artist, Adam Harvey. You know what's his art piece? Is this makeup of this girl. This is his art. This makeup doesn't allow the cameras, the security cameras, to identify her face within AI systems. So he's developing art against surveillance, against data use, against data capitalism, and in favor of a more free world. So AI is present even in the art, okay? He created this anti-drone scarf. If you use this scarf, the drones will not locate you in the ground. So he's working with very new technology. And so for those who are interested, UNESCO has just released a new curriculum for teachers and learners, and it's available for free in UNESCO website. And this is a very global curriculum that you can adopt and adapt within every country. Okay, the first one was published in 2013, but Joey Alagaran and myself, all of us, we helped us to update this curriculum. So it's a free book for everyone who is interested in reading. Sorry. Sorry, I'm just finishing here, but happened some weird stuff. Just a second. Just a second. Sorry, yeah, I'm back. So the future of media and information literacy, for me, relies on some aspects. The first on formal within the curriculum is how can schools and curriculum embrace the outside world and prepare students to face reality. This is demands teachers training and advocacy for media literacy within the curriculum. Okay, when we think about non-formal education, how open courses like MOOCs or after schools activities can deal with the situation. We need to develop more open courses on media literacy to develop critical thinking. Yeah. And when we think about informal education, I think this is a key, because you asked about curriculum and everything, but I'm very concerned about what is not curriculum. I mean, how can we lifelong learn? How can we learn during our entire life and learn about media literacy? And this is lifelong learning. This is how can platforms can educate the audience in a media literacy sense. So I'm developing this project, for instance, just to show it's a kind of Netflix of interviews. So I'm interviewing a lot of experts. You can watch the interviews, downloading it. And it's a way to learn for adults and the elder people to learn about media literacy within the experts. You just download the interviews and watch the interviews. You can watch or only listen to it in the mobile during your activities, during what you are doing in your daily basis. Yeah. So I host this TV show as well. This is a TV show where I host in Brazil that I know that TV is very, I want to tell that TV is very strong in Brazil, the open TV. And so TV is a way of people of educate. So I'm trying to teach media literacy through my TV show and through my FM radio show. This is lifelong learning as well. This is how media can educate, how journalists can educate during its profession. So those are my contacts. for those who wants to follow me or my email. I don't know if I use too much time. I apologize because I forget to control it. I don't know if it's too much. I skip a lot of content slides to do not take your time. And I have this my email here and my website as well. I used to publish videos. It's all in English subtitle, and you have all the things to read. So it was my pleasure to be with you, and sorry to take so much long.
No, it's really nice to listen from you, Alexandre Voci Sayed. It's a vibrating experience because you brought a different perspective for us. So it was nice to listen, and certainly we'll come to you again and in the future. So it's just the beginning to have interaction with you. So we are
thank you very much.
Keenly waiting to learn from you all. So now I'd like to turn to Dr. Joy. Dr. Joy, you are one of the pioneers in the field of promoting media and information literacy in your country, as well as in the world. So you have been working in the field at national, international, regional, and international level. So I'd like to request you to share your works and activities and your experiences, the challenges you're facing, and certainly I'd like to request you to tell the story of beginning of promoting MIL in Philippines. So and how Bangladesh can learn from the experiences of Philippines. So Dr. Joy, please share your experience now.
Thank you very much, Professor Aminul and Dean Jude, for this invitation to be part of your media summit. No? My session is entitled Digital Literacy in the Curriculum, but I'd like to cover media and information literacy as an umbrella of as an umbrella term to include digital literacy and other types of literacies. Allow me first to share my screen. All right. So let me first define MIL. So media and information literacy is a set of competencies that empowers citizens to access, retrieve, understand, evaluate and use, create as well as share information and media content in all formats using various tools in a critical, ethical, and effective way in order to participate and engage in personal, professional, and societal activities. Right now, MIL is also considered a life skill, something that we need to be able to understand and practice as we go through life. In the recent curriculum of UNESCO on media and information literacy, it now covers information literacy, media literacy, and digital literacy. Before, there used to be just two, information literacy and media literacy, but digital literacy actually was subsumed under media literacy. Let me also share my own model of MIL, which I call the triple E model, because everything starts with letter E. We have explore, engage, and empower. So to explore is to identify, access, and retrieve information and media content skillfully. So it's very important for us to know and understand how to navigate the internet and also explore resources from different media platforms. Number two, to engage is to analyze and evaluate media and information critically. This is also very important because we need to also understand the meanings of hidden messages, no? As we come across different types of information. Number three, to empower is to create or produce, share or communicate and use information and media content ethically, safely, and responsibly for decision making and taking action. So you would notice that the triple E model is aligned with the definition of UNESCO, and at the same time encompasses the different stages or different steps in the process of understanding MIL. As media and information creators and consumers, we need to explore media and information resources skillfully on different topics and issues, including how content providers operate the way they do. It is through this approach that we engage ourselves in analyzing and evaluating content through critical and reflective thinking processes. This approach also enables everyone to interpret how meanings are constructed and why they're understood differently. The final stage is to empower individuals to create and share better content and allow them to participate meaningfully in democratic processes in a safe, ethical, and responsible manner. But what is digital literacy and digital etiquette? Digital etiquette is part of digital literacy and digital citizenship. And digital literacy is actually part of media and information literacy. So it all depends no, on the priorities of the academic institutions, whether they take on MIL or digital literacy as part of their curriculum. Of course, I have here some suggestions which can be adopted as we make important decisions in curriculum development. Digital literacy is not entirely about the use of ICT tools for specific purposes, but also about digital wellness to include how to understand their effects on physical, emotional, and mental health of prosumers. The prosumers are the producers and consumers no, of digital content. Why is it important? Why is digital literacy important? I'd like to quote from Haig and Payton. To be digitally literate is to have access to a broad range of practices and cultural resources that you're able to apply for digital tools. It is the ability to make and share meaning in different modes and formats, to create, collaborate, and communicate effectively, and to understand how and when digital technologies can best be used to support these practices. So you would notice that digital literacy is very important, especially as we deal with the Gen Z population, because most of our students are born when computers are already available, and they are very much fluent in these technologies. So how then do we design the digital literacy or the MIL in the curriculum? Because the steps are also applicable in the MIL integration in the curriculum. Of course, first and foremost, we have to assess the learning environment. I'd like to explain this one by one as we go along. Identify the competencies, align competencies with student needs, train teachers, develop the modules and other learning resources, and integrate digital literacy across the curriculum. I'd like to start with assessing the school environment, or I also call it scanning the school environment. We have to benchmark with other schools. If you're not yet familiar, then maybe we can also do some benchmarking with other schools abroad, or even with other neighboring countries, as we plan for the integration of digital literacy or MIL in our secondary curriculum. Conduct an inventory of resources. This is also equally important because we need to find out the existing and potential resources available. And when I speak of resources, this do not only refer to resources in terms of materials and money, but at the same time in terms of human resources. Then it's up to the institution in terms of the type of digital literacy integration that they want um, to implement. They have to develop an infrastructure plan. So which means that we need to also make an inventory of available hardware and software resources. Develop a mission statement on MIL and digital literacy. This is also important because if we really would want to integrate digital literacy or MIL in the curriculum, there has to be a mission statement. Or if this is coming from the ministry or the Department of Education, then there has to be some kind of overarching principle which tells us how to be able to integrate MIL and digital literacy in the secondary curriculum. Then after having done the formulation of mission statement, then we can now proceed to the development of school policies and procedures. Next step would be for us to develop or identify MIL and digital literacy competencies. So what I did was I tried to identify from the revised curriculum of UNESCO the different competencies that will fall under the EEE model. So I'd like to start with explore. So under explore, we have define and articulate information needs. So we need to be able to identify the type of information that we need. And then we locate and access information. So by surfing in the internet or maybe even using the library resources, we need to be able to skillfully do that. Assess and organize information. So we don't just take on so much information. We have to make sure that we also assess the information in terms, especially in terms of veracity, in terms of authority, and in terms of applicability to our own needs. Understand the role and functions of media and internet communication companies in democratic societies. This is also important because as we interpret the media messages, they have something to do with what type of roles and functions do we follow in the management of our media organizations. Understand the conditions under which media can fulfill their functions. Understand also the use of digital tools and digital identity. This is already under digital literacy. Recognize digital rights, and at the same time, assess artificial intelligence issues. This is now a new area which we need to be able to understand how artificial intelligence affects how we process and produce information. In terms of the engage, we have to critically evaluate media content in the light of media functions, engage with media for self-expression, and also democratic participation. In terms of empower, we have to communicate information ethically through traditional and new media. We have to also use ICT skills for information processing and producing user-generated content, manage digital health, which is related to what I mentioned earlier about the effects of ICT on our mental health, and at the same time practice digital security and safety. So how do we align these competencies with student needs? So we have to determine students' current level of proficiency so that we will be able to know where we should focus our content and maybe also our strategies in in integrating digital literacy or MIL in the curriculum. We need to know where they are in terms of their present level of knowledge, attitude, and skills regarding digital literacy. Assess students' access to specific media platforms and digital tools. Develop student support system as well. We need to also train teachers. I call it upskilling, the teachers. So develop an individual development plan to dovetail with school institutional plan. This is important so that there will be a connection or a direct relationship between the individual development plan and the institutional plan. Develop a teacher development plan at the school level. This is also important because sometimes it depends on the capability of the school to be able to implement MIL and digital literacy. So we also have to train teachers on MIL and digital literacy with focus on the importance of knowing and practicing them as part of our life skills. Then it's also equally important to come up with some kind of incentive plan so that we would be able to encourage more teachers to learn and adopt either MIL or digital literacy. After having trained the teachers, we are now in a better position to develop the modules and other resources. So create a module development team. This is also very important. Like there could be a subject matter specialist or an IT person or even an instruction designer to be able to put together the modules and other resources needed for the implementation of the digital literacy integration in the curriculum. We can also produce learning modules based on needs because remember I said that we also have to find out the student's level of proficiency. So maybe as we produce modules, we have to make sure that these are aligned with the needs and interests of our students. Adopt print and non-print learning resources. Because it's not just about the printed materials, we can also introduce digital materials, of course. And apart from that, we can also make use of existing open educational resources as we produce the materials. Then mentor teachers how to be able to use the modules because it is not enough that we simply provide them the modules, but we should also be able to train them how to be able to effectively teach the course using the modules. Then this is the area where we are now ready to integrate digital literacy across the curriculum. But as I was saying, we will not be able to successfully integrate MIL or digital literacy if we don't have trained teachers or modules that are made available to teachers and so on and so forth. So we have to assess how MIL and digital literacy can be integrated in communication skills because we all use media. We live in a media-saturated society. So it is not only the domain of media and journalism department, but all other departments can actually integrate digital and MIL in their curriculum. So apart from communication skills, then we also have science, math, civics, and other courses. Then I think it's also important to come up with some kind of framework, how to be able to integrate MIL and digital literacy, especially at the national level if the Bangladesh government would want to integrate it in the secondary curriculum. How can the Philippines help out, especially the Philippine Association for Media and Information Literacy, which I founded in 2018? So first, we can help you in conducting benchmark studies with other institutions. we can also develop a national MIL and digital literacy curriculum. If you would allow us, no, we would like to also share how we did it, no, in the Philippines. Although I wasn't a member of the committee when they started developing the MIL curriculum at the secondary level, but I could share some insights maybe in terms of how to be able to integrate it. Then pilot test the curriculum. Maybe we can identify selected institutions to initially implement it, and from there we can maybe improve or even make some changes as we go along. Train teachers, we can also train teachers either through webinars or even through face-to-face workshops. Evaluate and monitor the implementation. This is equally important because as we implement any project, we have to make sure that we evaluate and monitor, the implementation of these projects. This would allow us to measure the success, and also to make sure that we are proceeding according to the plans of the Bangladesh government. With that, my dear friends, that winds up my presentation about how to be able to integrate digital literacy and MIL in the secondary curriculum. Thank you very much. I will catch up in a bit the reason why I recorded this presentation, but I'd like to join the panel during the open forum. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Joy. It was really insightful experiences we've got, but we are extremely running out of time. So we don't have much time to actually to discuss Japan more discussions. So actually it's time to actually wind up, and I think it was really an wonderful experience to have interaction with you all, and it was just a beginning of such dialogue. XSMIL will organize such more events in future. As a coordinator of the XSMIL, I strongly believe that we will get your cordial support in future, and we'll get you in different forms. So if I wrap up the session, some of the takeaways, if I be correct, then actually we have learned today that the responsible use of technology is a must for the current and future citizens, and we need to understand if you want to promote media information literacy and digital literacy properly in the country, then we need to understand the current situations through different level of researches, and we must train our teachers to make it possible to prepare our future generation. Without their high level of skills and engagement, and we cannot actually make it possible to educate our future generations the diverse dynamics of media and information literacy. So we need to train our teachers, and we need to create audio resources. So in that processes, we can get experiences from the Brazil and Philippines as well. And we have Professor Moshiuzzaman. He's really hard or working hard. And we have got Professor Tariq Ahsan. So as a Center for Promoting Media and Information Literacy, XSMIL, doing all these things, and we are doing research, we are creating training modules. So in future, we'll get you all in this process. So with this, actually, I don't have actually much time to take questions and to extend it. So with this, I'd like to wrap up this sessions, and I'd like to go to Dr. Barbak.
Thank you very much, dear session moderator, Muhammad Aminul Islam, and the discussants, Professor Moshiuzzaman, Mr. Alexandre Voci Sayed, if I'm not wrong with the pronunciation. And if I'm wrong, please apologize me, and please excuse me. We also had Dr. Zoe Alagaran in the panel. Thanks so much, Dr. Zoe. and Professor Tariq Ahsan. Thank you for joining us for a nicely woven discussion session. It was really engaging for me. I myself, I learned quite a few things, and I believe the audience have enjoyed the discussion and learned further about media information literacy, which is a very timely issue in the network world we live today. I'd like to express sincere thanks and gratitude to the session moderator and all the discussants on behalf of the Dhaka Media Summit 2022 organizing committee. Thank you so much. Next, we'll move on to the roundtable discussion entitled Media Sustainability and Safety Concerns for Journalists in Nepal and Beyond. Please allow us a few minutes to prepare for the session. Though I already see that our colleagues from Nepal, they are already in the session. We hate to be delayed, but I think you understand this. We need a little time to prepare for our online streaming. So I hope you will understand this and give us a few minutes to prepare. Thank you. See you back in a few minutes.